Hey everyone, it's Heather Marie Speaks, Miss Virginia 2021, and I'm super excited to be here inside of my tea room, Queen Bee & Company, with the nonprofit foundation and a few of the models that are going to be a part of RVA Fashion Week next week here at Queen Bee & Company with a Better Day Than Yesterday nonprofit foundation. So I've got the founder here as well as some of the GQ models and the fashionistas that will be with us as well, walking down this runway, but it's an amazing story. I wanted the founder to be able to share it a little bit so that you guys can hear not only from her, but from some of the people that this nonprofit has changed lives for. So Letitia, welcome, and everyone else, thank you so much. We're gonna hear a little bit from you guys, but why don't you start us off with telling us how this nonprofit got started and where it's going.
Okay, so A Better Day Than Yesterday initiative program was started in 2016. I was invited out to speak on a panel for Father's Day at Deep Meadow Correctional Facility. And at that event, the narrator said, well, Ms. Gordon, I'm gonna ask you a question. And I was wondering really why did he just choose me out the whole panel? And he said, how would you rebuild a relationship with someone that's been released from prison? And when he said that to me, I got really emotional. I couldn't really breathe or speak, and all it could do was make me reflect on why. And my dad was incarcerated 11 and a half years in federal institution. I didn't see him for like 8 years. So and at that moment, we was not speaking for like 6 months. So I couldn't answer his question. And so after that happened, the guys would come up to me and they said that they haven't seen our son in 17 years. Some haven't seen our daughters at all. Some haven't seen them in 8 years. And prior to that event, I asked God, like, what is my purpose? What am I here for? I know I'm here to do entrepreneurship. I know I'm here to help people, but I'm not being fulfilled at all. So on that ride home, God told me that is your purpose, and I told him no. And so because it's too emotional. It's going to bring up old things that I dealt with in my childhood into my adulthood, and it affected me, tremendously. So I didn't really want to share that. We went from having to not having. So who want to share that, So everything just kept happening. Turn on the TV, something about incarceration, something about kids. So I put the program together in like 2 weeks, and I started going around bringing awareness to the unintentional victim, which was me, because it was unintentional that I was experiencing being incarcerated but not incarcerated. So that's how A Better Day started, and we're going far with it.
I love that. Well, I think it's amazing because we had talked about this before. It's a common thing, and people don't really know that it's common because if it's not part of your life, you don't realize that it is a very common thing. There's a lot of people that go through it, and families get broken up, and we all have the opportunity to make good choices and bad choices in life, and sometimes the bad choices feel good in the moment and they bring all these positive things to it, but then it also breaks a lot of negative things apart. And so this is a wonderful way to be able to reunite, empower, and encourage people that have had a hard struggle to use something that was meant for harm for good, and to be able to bring these families back together. So we've got a couple of people that are part of the fashion show here that are going to share a little bit of their stories and introduce themselves and talk about how they've come from somewhere that was not so great into a really awesome future and being able to help other people with their gifts and talents. So we're going to start here with you, sir. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your story?
Hey, how y'all doing? My name's Terry Battle. I grew up in Southside Richmond, typical kid in Richmond, adolescent, running the streets, and I found myself in some trouble back in 2009, and I ended up doing 7 years in federal prison. Throughout that time when I was in prison, I knew when I came home, if I didn't come home in the right mind, I would fall back into what I was doing before I left. So I thought about who was out there doing good in life that wasn't in the streets, and it was a truck driver. That's all I could think of, my uncles, them, because they never was in the streets like that. They always worked. So I said, let me give myself a chance. Came home, got my CDL. I've been at my job for 6 years now. I ended up getting a transportation company, and I done had that going on 2 years.
Amazing.
Homeowner now, and I also do a credit building class with Tisha, A Better Day. So we trying to help people establish credit, understand credit, and just out here helping and motivating.
That's amazing. It's definitely great to be able to use your story to help encourage people, and I love that you were looking, because it's all about our choices. We have to choose and decide we want to do something better.
Facts.
So bravo to you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So we also have some other guests with us here. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir, and tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes, my name is Shaquille Ali, and I had the opportunity to spend 24 years in Virginia's penal system.
Oh, wow.
I've been home now for a little bit over 3 years now. And
welcome back.
Thank you very much. And it's good to be back. So since I've been home, I have become a best-selling author. The book titled Broken Crayon, Still Color. I also have a fashion line design out called Ex-Slave Nation. I work currently with another nonprofit organization, Help Me Help You, that works in conjunction with Letitia of Better Day Than Yesterday. And I'm just kind of like, I'm honored to be among this, because I believe that the family is the backbone of the community. I also believe that the father is the protector and the maintainer of that family. And when the father is removed from that family, the family becomes off balance. And so I was a part of, I would say, like, destroying the streets. And so now what I want to do is be a part of rebuilding the streets and giving the streets its rights back, so we can live in peace and live among one another. And so I try to help all those individuals that are returning home from incarceration. The teacher's doing a beautiful job, so I give her all the respect in the world for what she's doing, because it's not easy work.
No.
And it's not easy work at all. So I definitely respect her, and I like to be, and I just love to be a part of what she's doing each and every day.
That's amazing. I love that. Broken Crowns, Still Color. That is an amazing title to a book. I love that. And again, how you guys are using things that were not the greatest situation, but you're flipping it. And a lot of my platform is about mental health awareness. I tell people you've got to take care of your mind, body, and your soul in order to thrive. And all of that has to do with making the choice that you want to live a better life, that you want to do things right, that you want to take care of your family. So I just love these amazing stories that are encouraging on, what you went through, but you didn't let it tear you down. You rose up and you still made something good out of it. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what your story is.
Hi, my name is LaTonya Patron, and to piggyback on what you said, I went through a struggle, but still I rise. So when I was younger, I was getting into trouble, from vandalism to breaking and entry to just a lot of things because of my background. But I recently got into trouble in 2018 where I had a couple of felony charges, drug charges. And I still didn't let my background determine me or none of that. I only did 6 months in jail, and I was talking to Tisha like, I only did 6 months. She was like, I don't care if you did 1 day, that's 1 day too gone.
Yeah.
So I just was like, why did I get this opportunity at first? She was like, because I'm telling you, you are a better you. Like, this is your new you. And like she said, I didn't let anything that I did in my past determine who I am right now. I started a nonprofit called Hurt and Hearts Healing, and we cater to teens and young women of abuse. I'm writing a book, but I can't wait to read your book.
I can't wait to read that too.
I'm writing a book dedicated to women who have suicidal and mental health issues. And it's called A Mother's Cry to a Silent Cry, because my daughter was suicidal. So I'm thankful to be here, and I want to work more with her to give more back to the community. So this is all new to me. So I'm just thankful.
I love it. I love that so much. It's so important for us to be able to talk about our stories, and I think that's the biggest part of healing, is to be able to not feel ashamed of what you've been through, but to be able to use it to help other people, because you yourself have your own story that people are going to be able to relate to. And no one can relate to someone saying, you need to live a better life because I just think that's a good idea. But you're able to say, hey, this is where I was, and this is where I'm now, and this is how you can be too. And it just really empowers people, so I love that too. Tell us, sir, who you are and a little bit about your story.
My name is Thomas Mundy. I'm from the South Side. I was just recently released last July 8th after doing 13 years, 8 months for distribution of narcotics. I've been home now approximately 16 months, and in the 16 months I've been home, I was working at a homeless shelter called S&S Cold Shelter. I also was a peer support specialist at a residential substance abuse center called Angel House. And I'm also a promoter, which I kind of fell into by accident, but that's a long story I don't care to get into. And also I'm very active in my community. While I was on the inside, I just said that if I ever got the opportunity to kind of help the community, that I would, do so. And so my motto just moving forward is, just to do what I can when I can. And that's just pretty much it.
I love that. I love that. Do what you can when you can. It's all about just being available. There's many times where I want to make a difference and help, but I don't know what to do. And I just make myself available to fill in that gap. And we all have different stories, we all have different backgrounds, but we all have scars. And those scars can be a beautiful thing when we talk about them and share them with the world, and again, use it to make a difference in someone's life. So thank you guys so much for being here. We're gonna have a little bit of rehearsal because we got a fashion show in a week from today. But thank you guys for watching this Community Spotlight. Again, make sure you're taking care of your mind, body, and soul. Don't ever let anything that's happened in your past stop you from living in your destiny and your purpose for this world, because everyone can make a difference in the world together. Thank you guys so much. It's been great to see you. And Letitia, you got something else to say?
Yes,
Okay.
because our mission is to educate, equip, and empower
Yes.
families impacted by adversities due to incarceration, divorce, and deployment. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. So make sure you buy your tickets on rvafashionweek.com for this amazing fashion show coming up with A Better Day Than Yesterday on Saturday, October the 9th, from 5 until 8 p.m. We're also going to have a cash champagne bar as well as some appetizers, so you're not going to want to miss this. Stay tuned until the next Community Spotlight. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.